Athaparia is an internationally renowned pianist and teacher. She is the pianist of the contemporary Ensemble Resonance, and from her studio in Calgary, Alberta, she has taught world-famous pianists and child prodigies. She has recorded 10 albums and frequently gives workshops on piano pedagogy. Athaparia studied at the Royal Conservatory in Toronto and at Indiana University. The Thirsty Frog was written for the sixth edition of the Royal Conservatory's Celebration Series, a collection of works by various composers from different style periods. It is only a page long and takes about 40 seconds to be performed, and it is at an RCM Preparatory B level. This is an evocative and imaginative piece that imitates the sound of a frog and tells the story without text and may expand what students' conception of music is if they've been trained mainly by playing singable melodies. There are two primary gestures in this piece, a grace note motive to a staccato note in the lower register of the piano that sounds remarkably similar to a frog ribbiting, and the other gesture is a pedaled quintuplet arpeggio that depicts water. Dynamics are marked with precision, with each gesture marked with an individual dynamic marking and/or crescendo decrescendo. This piece also covers most of the range of the keyboard. The piece begins with the description underneath the tempo marking, "Once upon a time there was a thirsty frog," and ends with "satisfied," with no text in between, implying that the music tells the story. Students and teachers can discuss what is being depicted by each gesture, and the student can use their imagination to develop a fully fleshed out story. The more detailed the story is, the better for remembering subtle details, such as crescendos and dynamics. For example, the accelerando in measure 7 could be seen as the moment the frog finds the water and hops towards it as fast as it can. The teacher could narrate aloud as the student plays to encourage the student's interpretation. Because the quintuplets, accidentals, and dynamic markings, this piece looks harder and more complicated on the score than it actually is to play. For that reason, the piece could be taught by rote. In order for this to be successful, the student should have already played music with a variety of dynamic markings, so they are used to small differences between forte and fortissimo, for example, or being able to crescendo and diminuendo. To help the student find their notes with the various position shifts within the piece, the teacher could use stickers on a few keys. Stickers on D flat 2, A flat 2, and B flat 5 could make the piece more accessible and easier to teach by rote. One technical difficulty of this piece is the quick grace note figure that makes up much of the piece. Coordinating between the hands for a crisp grace note and staccato should be practiced slowly before speeding up to the quick rivet sound. The cascading pentatonic arpeggio is an element that looks harder on the score than it actually is. Students can practice by blocking key clusters, black key clusters, and working on moving their eyes and hands quickly from one cluster to the next. For the quintuplet, students can say the phrase, "I'm a thirsty frog," as they play. "I'm a thirsty frog." The piece calls for one long pedal at the end. Although it is still a great piece without pedal if a student cannot reach, ideally a student could reach the pedal. I will now perform the Thirsty Frog.